What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for upcoming banners coming to the global version of the game. And in today's video, we are going to take a look at Guy's event banner. Now, before we do start, I do want to let you guys know there has been some changes that I have done with my Should You Pull videos. First of all, I have now included all the character boards with the passives for the skill 1, skill 2, EX, and the LD board in one particular section. They are going to be making this video a little bit shorter, hopefully in the future. So you might see that the numbers doesn't really add up when you just take a look at Dissidia DB or any other resource, but if you add it all up, if you look at the character boards and add it all up, the numbers should match unless I made a mistake. So this is going to be the new format, and hopefully it'll be a lot easier for you guys to actually see the numbers. You know, previously I haven't been including the character boards. I've only been doing the passives, which are on the 55 and level 60 passive. Right now, character boards are kind of a big thing, so I am going to be adding them now. And of course, the last thing that I want to say before we start is to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel and I would really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's start this video. Okay, so let's take a look at Guy's skill 1, which is Earth Smash. This is going to be a 5-hit AoE Earth melee brave plus single target HP attack, which will recover his own HP by 90% of the HP damage dealt. This will have a hard cap limit at 35% of his max HP, and this will have a 180% max brave overflow limit, and of course the almighty increasing damage when attacking a single target. Now, this will grant him Gaia's protection for 8 turns, and while this is active, he will have access to his Brave Attack Plus and HP Attack Plus. Gaia's protection is going to give him a 40% attack up and will restore the party's Brave by 30% of the max Brave at the end of the turn. And as for Guy's second ability, or second skill, it's called Warcry. This is going to do a 4-hit AoE Earth melee brave plus AoE HP attack with a split HP damage. This will recover the party's HP by 90% of the HP damage dealt. Again, this will have a hard cap at 35%. This will have a 180% max brave overflow limit and will increase the damage when attacking a single target. This will also inflict the lock debuff on the enemies and will grant him 2 levels of Wild Instincts for 8 turns. Now, while Wild Instinct is active, this will reduce the brave damage taken by 40%. And this will stack, basically a stacking buff from 1 to 5. It will raise his own max brave by 5% per level and his attack by 10% per level. This also raises the party's max brave by 10%, 15, 25, 35, 45% respectively. Now let's move on to his EX ability called Gaia's Rumble. This will raise his max brave and attack by 40% flat. This will fill his EX gauge at the start, and when the quest starts, he will have 8 turns of Gaia's protection, 2 levels of Wild Instinct, and Gaia's Herculean Strength. This will all be at 8 turns. This will do a 3-hit AoE Earth melee brave plus AoE HP attack that is delivered 3 times. This will have a total of 150% max brave overflow limit and will not consume his use count next turn, excluding some abilities. This will increase the brave damage dealt when attacking a single target and will also be a split HP damage. This will inflict 6 turns of the Earth Imperial debuff after the first HP attack, and will grant 8 turns of Gaia's Herculean Strength. And while Gaia's protection is active, he will have access to his Brave Attack Plus and his HP Attack Plus. Now, as for what Gaia's Herculean Strength does, this will raise the party's attack by 25% and granting the party a 20% Earth enchant. Alright guys, now let's move on to Guy's LD. This is going to be called Guy's Swing. This will raise his attack by a flat 60% and will have 4 total uses. This will do a 2-hit AoE Earth melee brave plus AoE HP attack, and followed up by 3-hit AoE melee brave AoE HP attack that is delivered twice. This will again increase the brave damage dealt when attacking a single target and increasing the brave damage when attacking the target's weakness. This will have a total of 150% max brave overflow limit, and once again will have a split HP damage. This will inflict the Earth Imperil for 6 turns to all targets and will grant him the Solid Body buff for 8 turns. Now Solid Body is going to raise the party's attack by 20% and their defense by 90%. This will also reduce the party's HP damage taken by 30% and will not stack with the same buff. Alright guys, so after hearing all this information regarding Guy's abilities, his EX, and his LD, what do I think of him as a character overall? Honestly, Guy is a pretty simple character. He's a pretty straightforward character to use. So if you're brand new to the game, it's not rocket science on how to use him. Just use his abilities and you will be able to enchant the party and imperil the enemy and heal yourself and heal the entire party. So, you know, it's a pretty user-friendly or beginner-friendly character to pick up. A lot of his, I guess, positive qualities are attached to his auras, which are both defensive and offensive. Some people might say he's a little bit more on the defensive side, which I would probably lean more towards, but he does have some offensive auras there as well, increasing the party's attack, and their max brave is also pretty good. Now, it is quite rare to find a earth element enchanter slash imperiler. The only other character right now is Gao, and Guy is going to be the second character that can do this. So it is a pretty rare occasion that you can get someone like this who is attached to the earth element. The great thing about him as well, like I already mentioned, is he can heal himself thanks to his powerful heals, and I think overall he is a decent character to pick up if you do need a tank that can self-sustain. Unfortunately, his brave hits aren't all that many, so do expect the amount of damage he deals not to be on par of other characters, but I think that is what you get for a tank. And like I said, I think he is leaning more towards on the defensive side compared to some other offensive tanks. So I think it's a good trade, you know, being more defensive. Obviously, the offense of this character is going to drop, which is par for the course. Alright guys, so we're finally at the end of this video, and one final question remains: should you pull? Okay, so this is going to be a maybe again for me. My heart tends to say yes on this one since it's a brand new character. If you haven't gotten Ramses' burst weapon, or if you're trying to chase for that, this is the last banner you're going to be able to pull that after a little while. So, you know, if you're still chasing that burst for Ramza, this is probably the best place to do that since it is a brand new character. No one has all his kit and stuff like that. Plus, he's going to be able to help you with the Lufenia stage. Obviously, it's going to revolve around him. I say I would throw a couple of tickets on this one. As for the gems itself, that's really going to depend on you. Do you really want Guy? Do you need a tank? A lot of the things now are going, well, actually it always has been revolving around what you need. So Guy is a pretty decent character. I wouldn't say he's trash by any means. By a lot of people think that, you know, Gao is probably a better earth enchant slash imperiler than Guy. I think he's okay. Obviously, like I mentioned, the Lufenia stage is going to revolve around doing earth damage, and currently there's really only very few characters that can do that. And plus, if you're looking for an enchanter, there's only 2. So it's either you got Gao or you go for Guy. The thing is, obviously, that the enemy is double resistance to range and magic based attacks. However, you can bypass this obviously if you have an enchanter slash imperialer. So Gao can still be pretty useful on this Lufenia fight. However, if you don't have Gao like myself, you might have try and get a different option. Realm is probably one of those options, right? But she's not going to be doing a ton of damage unless you get an imperialer as well to attach to her, like an earth imperialer, maybe Shantoto. I do believe she can do it. Just right on top of my head though, so don't quote me on that. So yeah, there's definitely some value in Guy, since there's only 2 characters that can do what he does in terms of Earth Enchant and slash Imperialer. Plus, like I said, he is more of on the defensive side. That's why not a lot of people feel like, pulling for Guy, because let's be honest, Dissidia is a numbers game, and the more numbers you do, the better the character is in people's eyes. So yeah, I do think there's still value in him though, and I will probably use tickets myself. I probably will stay away from using gems because right now I don't really have a lot of that, so I might pass on that on the entire kit if I don't get it with a few tickets. I'm probably thinking maybe do like 50 tickets or something along those lines, and hopefully I get his kit. I mean, even if it's only his LD, I think it's fine. I'll be able to use him on the Lufenia just for the orb, for the orb count basically. But like I said, there might be some other options to work around that orb counter. But let me know what you want to do down in the comments below, because that is it for this video, guys. Remember to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you do. Let me know what you think of the new format, including all the character boards now as well, with skill 1, skill 2, and all the abilities basically. Let me know what you think about that, or would you prefer separating them? Let me know down in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.